Retro Trekking with the Caramel Apples podcast, a continuation apple snack that brings you a retro vibe, both crunchy and sweet, with your hosts Kennedy Rizzo and Cooper Lee.
Oh, thanks again for joining us once again, Orchard Archivers. We do love and appreciate you and your dedication and support. Last week we spoke about one of the celebrities that we met at the Chicago Fan Expo, and that was Orlando Bloom, aka Legolas, Will Turner, however you connected his characters. But we at the Fan Expo actually got footage of him, sharing some of the highlights, career highlights, and some of the stuff he wanted to with the fans. And as Coop and I do, we get overly excited, and we forgot to put that in the show last week. So many apologies. So we decided that we'd like to do that this week. It's always fun to talk about him. It's always fun to talk about our favorite stars. So we're going to do that for you. So hold tight.
Yes, and before we unpack that caramelicious topic that Kennedy gave us a nice little brief intro into, we would love for you to subscribe, check us out on social media, say hello. We love to talk with you, conversing with our listeners. Always gives us some insight into things that you also enjoy. And cruise on over to buymeacoffee.com/RetroTrekwithTheCaramelApples. We need a little bit of a caffeine boost. Get a little tired over here, so feel free to provide us with some of that. We need that little bit of octane to keep us revving. So
that's right, especially in the fall time.
Yes. Nice warm cup of coffee wouldn't be terrible right now.
Sounds good.
So Orlando Jonathan Blanchard Copeland Bloom.
Oh my goodness, that 5 names there?
Yes.
Good grief.
Yeah, stay tuned. There might be a couple more later. Let's see. Is an English actor who rose to international fame from his roles as Legolas in Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, he reprised that role in the Hobbit series a few years back, and Bloom has worked across film, television, and theater, showcasing his talent in genres ranging from fantasy to thrillers. He started his career with small roles in British TV shows like Casualty and Midsummer Murders. And I do remember watching the Midsummer Murders episode that he was in.
No kidding.
Yeah. That was one of those things that it's like once he hit the scene, you couldn't get enough of him.
Yeah, that was the era. Understood.
Yeah. So literally bought that season to watch that episode.
Did you now?
Yeah, and it was on VHS. Isn't that hilarious?
Yes, it is. Because Coop does not do anything half-baked. It's always full throttle. Oh my goodness. But as Coop said, Orly is an English actor. He made his breakthroughs as the character Legolas in LOTR, and that was between the years of, 2001 through 3? 2000?
Yeah, feels like a lifetime ago.
It really does. That means we're getting older, which stinks.
Yeah.
But our first fun fact of our episode this week revealed that he reprised his role in the Hobbit film series from 2013 and 2014. Coop just shared that. That is so cool because, he really wanted to do that,
Yeah, that is really special.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness.
Hello.
But Lord of the Rings, Pirates had amazing locations. We leave our apartments or wherever we were staying, right? all put down, so we weren't walking on these very special business and now run that as well. Because at one point they were going to go with like unknowns, and obviously that didn't to put myself on tape. So I went to their office and I got a call back for Legolas and I was like my
It's before that.
lovely guy. And then because at one point they were going to go with like unknowns, and obviously that didn't happen. They went with Ewan, amazing Ewan. Actually, Ewan went to my school too. I don't know. Maybe some of you saw him today. He was here, wasn't he? Lovely guy. And then I got this call from Rose to put myself on tape. So I went to their office and she went on tape the Faraday.
Here it is. So we had a nice little treat that we were introduced to while we were there at the panel for Orlando.
Yes.
And it's really quite intriguing because I think we kind of knew this before, but it's neat to hear him talk about it. So
It's neat to hear him talk. He's got an awesome accent. I love his voice.
he does. He does.
It's Legolas.
That's right.
And she went on tape the Faraday. I think like my skin color and stuff looked like a young Faraday maybe.
So here we go with our next fun fact. Did you know that Orlando had originally auditioned for the part of Faramir, who does not appear until the second movie, but the director Peter Jackson, old Pete Jackson, him as Legolas instead. The man had a vision.
Which we appreciate highly.
Oh my goodness. Like, there's times when you're like, that's a good move. That's a good move. That's an awesome move. That was an awesome move.
Yeah. Yes, that's why he's in Hollywood, thank goodness.
Exactly. But something that was kind of unfortunate, while he was shooting the scenes as Legolas, he ended up actually breaking a rib.
Ooh.
Yeah, from falling from a horse. And we know he had talked about this in the panel that they rode lots and lots of horses and things like that because,
Uh-huh.
you have to get used to the gait and all that kind of stuff. And it sounds like he has an affinity for horses.
Nice.
That's really cool, but still, now he's got this lasting uh, souvenir, if you will, from the movie.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but obviously he did recover and then he just continued shooting. So bravo for him.
That's right, but that's brutal.
I know.
But that's the cool thing about a lot of actors. Some of the necessary wear and tear of someone seriously going after their craft.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some consider him to be the Errol Flynn of his time. He gained further notice appearing in epic fantasy, historical, and adventure films, including Will Turner in Pirates of the Caribbean film series and franchise. That was shortly after LOTR. That was like through 2003 to 2007, and then 2017, respectively.
Mm.
Parisian Troy, so that Paris, in 2004. He also played Balian de Evelyn in Kingdom of Heaven, and that was in 2005. Another stellar film.
Yes.
And the Duke of Buckingham. Buckingham! Three Musketeers. And see, I can say that right now because I have a cold. That's ugly.
Your cold is lending to your accent.
That's why I'm like that one guy in Bugs Bunny. I'm in Buckingham. Or was it? It was actually Bugs Bunny, wasn't it?
No, 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 no! No, please! No!
It was. Like Haas and Pfeffer.
What's the matter with you?
Oh my goodness, Looney Tunes, they're nuts.
Oh, you said it completely. But most of the box office successes that Orlando Bloom has was part of being in an ensemble cast.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And he next starred in a shared film with Keira Knightley, and Johnny Depp, that being Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of Pearl, which was a blockbuster hit during the summer of 2003. So far back. It's crazy.
I know it.
I always think something like that invasion of people, but many of you are grounding all of the cost audience anyway, because the location from the third movie that afternoon, which was what? I mean, that was, yeah, it's pretty cool. I recently spoke with Eric Bana, and he said, then he was the cyclist in Ben Foster. Yeah, it was intense. We were we were like sporadic in filming, and I'm only in the beginning bit, and then towards the helicopter, and then I'm there. But it's country and check it out. To travel, to experience different cultures, amazing culture. Yeah, it was. I love that movie. Very proud. And the soundtrack of that movie is awesome. Yeah, great soundtrack. Yeah. It's also still living today. Yeah. It's one of those cool films. Back to Lord of the Rings. You trained in archery. Still, it's nice to be in that meditative state of a character like that. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of. I don't think I'm a method actor specifically, but I'm like fully committed when I go into something. So I'm quite selective about what I do because otherwise, you get into a headspace. Playing a serial killer, for example. But playing in that headspace of Legolas was like such a blessing.
Try to get back. Okay.
How did Lord of the Rings help you prepare for that shoot? And those roots? Well, the Pirates was one movie, and then they decided to do 2 and 3. So 2 and 3 were back to back, and shot back to back over like 18 months. But the first movie was shot over maybe 6 or 8 months, I think. But it was very detailed. Cool, remarkable director in his own right, super creative, super bold. Really threw everything at it. Obviously, Johnny was doing Johnny's remarkable rendition of Captain Jack. I was initially kind of worried actually because when I read the script, it was cool.
Okay.
So, Coop, I really like that point. Hearing from somebody that was a part of these films, part of his, contribution to both LOTR and Pirates.
Yeah.
He made the distinction of being a part of both those projects, and that how things seem more seamless and easier when he was in the realm of LOTR versus Pirates, because Pirates was a success in 03, and then they went and spun off of that.
Yeah.
And so they really did indeed become kind of like 3-4 different movies versus LOTR that all was filmed at the same time, which made them excellent.
Right. And was something they had never done before, I don't believe. So
Yeah, because they're not super qualified for what they're doing. Let's just be honest, God.
and you could tell when he was talking about it that he could tell the difference between what was already on the page for 3 movies versus one that he did 1 movie and then it was later decided to do more.
That's very interesting, yes.
Yeah, it's just he felt differently about it. Not bad, just he could tell a difference.
Yeah, and
So,
he's in the middle of it, so that's cool.
exactly. After the success of Pirates, Bloom next took to the screen as Paris, the Prince of Troy, in the 2004 spring blockbuster Troy, opposite Brad Pitt and Eric Bana and Peter O'Toole. He subsequently played the lead roles in Ridley Scott's Kingdom of Heaven and Cameron Crowe's Elizabethtown, both released in 2005, and starred in the 2006 film Haven, for which he also served as an executive.
Man, was he ever busy during that time.
Really?
'Twas his heyday in the acting realm. So in 2006, Bloom was one of the guest stars in the sitcom Extras, in which he portrayed an exaggerated, arrogant, narcissistic version of himself who had a great loathing for Johnny Depp, who we all know is his co-star in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. So Bloom pushed for Extras to go further by making his persona very unlikable and contributed to the gag about him admiring Depp out of sheer jealousy because Depp was far more talented than he was, not to mention rated higher than him on the top hottest charts.
That's interesting.
Do you remember anything about that?
No, actually, I don't. Surprisingly.
Okay. Anything Johnny Depp or Orlando, I thought I better check with Coop. I thought I'd do that. Okay, moving on. In 2004, the second and third films of the Pirate of the Caribbean series were conceived, with screenwriters Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio developing a story arc that would span both sequels, in which Bloom reprised his role as Will Turner. Filming for the projects took place in 2005. Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest. Ooh.
Best one.
Released in July of 2006, with the worldwide collections of 1.66 billion, that's billion with a B.
Wow.
Yeah, dollars, becoming the biggest financial hit of Bloom's career.
That is phenomenal. My
Isn't it
goodness.
though? Jeez.
Yeah, that's crazy numbers. And, we could definitely see a theme because he's a rising star, right, at the time.
Yeah.
But really cool because, there's two movies in there that he plays a blacksmith in two of these movies. He was a blacksmith in Pirates, and then he's a blacksmith in Kingdom of Heaven.
That's cool.
And it's just neat. I mean, yes, he's only got the one elf that he played, but there's some repeating people that he acting alongside and things. So that's really cool, and to see record numbers like that when you're at the beginning of your journey as an actor or film star, that's encouraging, right? You keep going. You want to just keep
That's
going.
why they get into the business, yeah.
Yeah. So the third installment in the series, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, was released in May the following year. Afterwards, Bloom repeatedly stated that he was done with the Pirates series,
Uh-oh.
noting, noting that there was closure from his character in At World's End. By 2010, both Bloom and Keira Knightley were quoted in saying they wanted to move on from the franchise. So we met someone, we briefly mentioned her before in our other Fan Expo series, but we met her and she was in line to see and meet her. I would just say that was her unicorn, right?
I knew that was coming. I love that, yes.
Yes, and it's cool because she's in line to actually do that, and she did. But that is how she knew him. That was her introduction to him as an actor, as a character, was Will Turner. That was her beloved, right? And we were kind of standing there waiting to hear her say something about Legolas, and she never did. And we're like, oh. Again, telling us how old we are. We're like, oh, okay.
We were taken aback for a minute. But, that's crazy because you just said that both Keira and Orlando, got to the point where they're ready to move on to other projects. But if they didn't undertake this particular one, people like our friend at the Fan Expo, she probably wouldn't have seen their work. She wouldn't have even had Pirates to fall in love with. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. So their work means something out there.
Yes, yes.
Pirates was a very different animal, completely different. Obviously I was a little bit more savvy in terms of being in front of the camera to some degree. Johnny is just a remarkable talent, and I grew up watching everything he did, and was just like watch him do his thing was just so fun. And it was
boogers.
Yeah, so we just faded out there. We had mentioned this in Orlando's episode part 1, where he was talking about how nutty we are over here in the States because, like I think he was surprised. Like, he's in the business, they're trying to make money, they're trying to make memories.
Sure.
But so this is off of a ride. This Pirates of the Caribbean's off of a ride that was a Disneyland, and he's like, okay, got it. But the way it caught on and how everybody's nuts about their characters and the concept and everything, he's like, y'all are different over here. Like, he's like, he kind of alluded to that where we faded out, but it's like, you have no idea. We are nuts about what we love. So welcome to the States.
And hopefully now, tides have turned. Pardon the pun. Maybe he has the same appreciation for it now. Even though he didn't quite fully get it before, he probably does now.
That's right. We'll show you a thing or two around here.
That's right. And what's something else is interesting that we did also hear, it seems that now there's a little distance between the time that they actually filmed, wrapped, and all of that, and moving forward in time. And, the older you get, you look back on things, you remember the nice, pleasant things about it versus maybe the things you didn't really like so much.
Yes.
I think he's willing to explore the idea of pirates if it was written well.
I don't blame him there. I mean, that's the one thing Hollywood's chopping up, boy. They're getting suing our movies.
Right.
Man.
So we'll just stay tuned for that, right? Because like you said, you just never know. You never know.
That's right.
Now let's just recap on another one of our favorite entertainment offerings of his, and that is the film Troy.
Okay, yeah, we're going to do a little briefing on this. Cliff notes, folks, okay? So, Troy is about the plot surrounding Troy was King Agamemnon unites the Greek kingdoms. Achilles, a heroic warrior, this is Brad Pitt, he actually fights for Agamemnon, but despises his tyrannical rule. Meanwhile, Prince Hector of Troy, that's Eric Bana,
Yes.
and his brother Paris, that's Orlando Bloom, negotiate a peace treaty with Menelaus, king of Sparta. Paris begins an affair with Menelaus' wife, Queen Helen, and she was played by, oh my goodness, actress, what is her name? I see her. Diane Kruger?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. My brain doesn't work. I got this cold, so you gotta forgive me, listeners. I'm sorry. Anyways. Paris smuggles her aboard his homebound vessel. Angered, Menelaus meets Agamemnon, his elder brother, and asks him to help take Troy. And Agamemnon, he was a mess. I mean, he was played by actor Brian Cox. He was nuts.
Yes.
He makes us laugh just watching his antics. He's funny.
Absolutely.
Agamemnon sends Odysseus, king of Ithaca, to persuade Achilles to join them. Conflicted, Achilles seeks guidance from his mother, Thetis, who tells him that if he remains in Larissa, he will live a peaceful but forgotten life, while going to Troy will bring him eternal glory. You see the bite here in his mind?
Yes. Yeah.
Inspired by her words and the promise of lasting fame, Achilles chooses to join the war.
Exactly. In Troy, King Priam welcomes Helen when Hector and Paris return home and decide to prepare for war. The Greeks eventually invade and take the Trojan beach, thanks largely to Achilles and his Myrmidons. And Achilles has the temple of Apollo sacked and claims Briseis, a priestess and the cousin of Paris and Hector, as a prisoner. He's angered when Agamemnon spitefully takes her from him and decides that he will not aid Agamemnon in the siege. Decent movie, but his inclusion in this all-star cast was where he was riding the wave of marketability from the recent LOTR fame.
That's right. This was a good movie, but it wasn't great. It was about the marketability, but it was an entertaining watch.
Yeah, and I would definitely say this was Brad Pitt's movie.
Yeah. So there's that.
But what's really cool about it is, again, like we said, there's some repeating themes. Sean Bean was also in this movie, and he was with him in LOTR.
I did not remember that. Thanks, Coop. Funny.
So next up is Kingdom of Heaven.
Oh, good movie, good movie.
So Kingdom of Heaven, the film is heavily fictionalized portrayal of the events leading to the Third Crusade, focusing mainly on Balian of Ibelin, who fights to defend the Crusader kingdom of Jerusalem from the, how do you say that?
Salahuddin? Hmm.
Salah?
Is it Ayubud? I don't know.
Ayyubid Salah Hudi. I don't even know.
Sultan Salahuddin. Was right there. Right here was a really enjoyable film as well, but with the focus much more on the acting prowess of King Baldwin and his cryptic presence played all throughout the movie by the uber talented Edward Norton.
Bravo.
I don't even know. Like, there's like little details about Kingdom of Heaven I don't quite always remember. Oh, it was in the desert somewhere, and a lot of it's a religious war, obviously.
Yeah.
But King Baldwin, that is crystal clear. Like his performance in that, I don't know. I was like, that is the business.
And, he wasn't in it much, but when he was on screen, you paid attention.
Yes, right. Yeah,
Yes.
great actor. I'm sorry, he's the one that carried the film. That's what it is.
And indeed he did. But Orlando had heart and gave it his all. Filming took place in Morocco and in Spain at the Lari Castle and Segovia, Avila. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. Palma del Rio in Sevilla, oh my God, this is awful. Casa de Platas and Alcazar. I don't even know. I don't even know.
Alcazar.
Thank you, Kennedy.
Who's got the cold here?
I have a cold.
Okay. Sounds good.
So the film was released on the 6th of May in 2005 by the 20th Century Fox and received mixed reviews upon theatrical release. Reviewers were more positive about the director's cut release on the 23rd of December in 2005, and it grossed $218 million worldwide.
Oh my gosh, that's some change.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Next one I'd like to briefly assess is Black Hawk Down.
Okay, here we go, Coop.
Yeah, so Black Hawk Down is a 2001 war film directed and produced by Ridley Scott.
Great director.
Oh, yes. He's got his roster.
100%.
Yeah, you're in for a good ride anytime you pop in one of his movies. And co-produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, who is also very fast, go, big blockbuster explosions and stuff. Like, he's all for it.
Yeah.
Moving forward. Like, he doesn't sleep at all at the wheel as far as bringing you into the story.
That's right.
And from a screenplay by Ken Nolan. It's based on the 1999 eponymous non-fictional book by journalist Mark Bowden about the crew of the Black Hawk helicopter that was shot down during the Battle of Mogadishu. The film featured a large ensemble cast, including Josh Hartnett, Ewan McGregor,
Woo, 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 woo.
Eric Bana,
All right.
Tom Sizemore, William Fichtner, Jason Isaacs, Sam Shepard, Jeremy Piven, Ian Groffeld.
Yeah, that's what was his name in not Kingdom of Heaven. He was
One of the knights. Yeah, he was. Gosh,
his sidekick.
yes.
What was his name? Not Gawain. Was it? No, it's not Gawain.
What Gawain? It was like one of the most famous ones.
Or brains.
Now I have to look it up because that's ridiculous. And it's going to be like, oh yeah, that's right. Where is it? Oh my gosh. Let's see.
I can't think of his name.
Here we go. He was Lancelot.
Oh my god.
There it is. Like, it was one of the most famous ones.
It wasn't coming though.
No.
Okay. If you listeners were in doubt that you're listening to Gen Xers speaking, that should seal the deal for you right there. Our brains aren't functioning properly.
Not at all. Lancelot. Yes, that was a good one. We also have another Ewan Bremner, Hugh Dancy, and Tom Hardy. In his first film, that was his first film role. He's actually one of my husband's favorites. He likes his work.
Good job, Coops Hubby, because Tom Hardy's the business.
So I'll tell you what's interesting. It's so funny. I don't know if Kennedy will remember this, but
Why not?
I actually saw LOTR before she did, and saw Black Hawk Down the same day, and it was literally hilarious because after left LOTR, and already like, yeah, Legolas was the business. Got into the other movie theater, same theater but different screen. Was watching Black Hawk Down and was like, I think that's the same guy. Oh my gosh, that's the same. Who is this person? I just saw two movies with. I don't even know who he is. But okay, so fast forward. I come home and I tell Kennedy about this, and I'm like, all right, here's the deal. Two great movies. LOTR was amazing. It's like, but there's a lot of hot guys in this other one.
Which got Kennedy's attention.
What's the matter with you?
Poing! What'd you say?
Yes. So it's like, well, which one do you want to see? So we opted for LOTR, but yeah, she did see that one later too. But it was like, which one do you want to see first? Because we're seeing both, but which one do you want to see first? Oh gosh.
So, of course, we'd like to reiterate the exciting appeal of the Pirates franchise. Pirates of the Caribbean, which we've already talked about extensively, but that came out in 2003. It was a fantasy swashbuckling film directed by Gore Verbinski, produced by Jerry Bruckheimer. There's his name again.
Yep.
Complete Hollywood heavy hitter. And it was distributed by Buena Vista Pictures via the Walt Disney Pictures label, which we remember that, Lake Buena Vista.
Yeah.
But the film is based on the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction, the ride at Disney theme parks, and is the first film in the Pirates of the Caribbean series. So that was what we got at the end, that clip. Where he's like, "You Americans are something else."
Yeah.
And we agree. We don't hide that fact.
100%. So starring one of my hardcore crush boos is Johnny Depp.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
here we go.
And Jeffrey Rush, which I guess he had something to do with Orlando also doing some other film. Oh, it was Ned Kelly. He was in that one with him as well. Like he's got a lot of repeat offenders that he's acted with.
That's a good one.
Sequels. Yeah, that's really cool. That was a good movie. That was
Yes, it
really good.
was. Oh yeah, the old West. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Heath Ledger was in it, of course. So that was cool. And so, of course, yes, Orlando Bloom was in this and Keira Knightley. It follows pirate Captain Jack Sparrow, who is Depp, and the blacksmith Will Turner, who is Bloom, as they attempt to rescue the kidnapped Elizabeth Swann Knightley. And the trio encounter Captain Hector Barbosa, who is Rush.
Hot mess.
He really was.
He was. He made the movie. Oh, ooh, he was a mess.
He really was. And the Black Pearl crew, of course, and they were all afflicted by a supernatural curse.
It sounds more like guidelines. That's funny.
Yes, that is classic.
So that's basically, we weren't going to go too long on this. It has, we probably spent a little more time on it than we originally planned. But, we just wanted to share our experience at the Fan Expo in Chicago a few weeks ago, about him and his press conference talking about and detailing his career highlights, what he loved, what he misses, what he wouldn't want to do again, that Americans are crazy for, crazy oogly fanning over everything. But if it wasn't for that, he wouldn't have a career. So I think it was nice he showed up to show his appreciation for us crazy fans, and help grace our presence with his presence. It was, thank you, Mr. Bloom. It was nice.
And we're talking about over 20 years of support for him. So
Yeah.
it's mind-boggling that it's been a couple decades. And he was candid about that too, just recognizing that he's not who he was back in the day either. And I think he is appreciative of still being able to be in this even though he's getting older now. So that's cool. That's really, really cool.
It is, and we understand that. I mean, like you, dear listeners, like you have stuck with us along our little journey and supported us, and we get a lot of commentary and whatever, and we appreciate that too. So we understand. I mean, we're not nothing close to what some of these Hollywood celebrities engage in, but we kind of understand and appreciate the support you get for what you do, and that means a lot. So, we're thanking the stars that we follow and go after, but we thank you too for giving us a listen each and every week, and the support you give. We truly appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you is right. And that's it for this week's Apple Snack, but there's more where that came from. Visit the Retro Orchard Weekly for a sweeter nostalgic experience.